What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brucey B here again. Skateboard Out of My Mind, episode number 9. We're here with a Memphis music legend.
Oh, come on now.
Rico.
Oh.
He's in a band, Negro Terry.
Yes, indeed.
And he has a lot of more other musical ventures he's in. But we're going to talk to him today a little bit.
Oh, shit.
See what he has to say.
Right on, man. What you got? What's cracking, man?
Not much. It's good. Thanks you for coming on the show.
Yeah, you already know it, man. As many Negro Terry shows you been to? Shit.
So I guess let's jump right into it. How old were you when you first knew you wanted to be a musician?
9 years old. I was 9 because I remember it was 98. Remember in the Godzilla movie came out with Matthew Broderick, the one everyone says is so bad.
Yeah.
And so I had the soundtrack, which had that No Shelter song by Rage Against the Machine on it. And then I showed it to my uncle, like all excited 9-year-olds do. And he's like, oh, you like that? And he hands me Evil Empire. And it was like, I was done.
That was it.
He was like, yeah. And then he told me like the lead singer and the guitarist were mixed. And I was like, really? Because I'm a little kid in the hood. I'm, basically, what do they call it? Black passing mixed. So, yeah. I haven't really gotten to that part of life yet. And now he's telling me like I can do this other shit that I think is dope that would be considered white folk shit. I can do that shit and there's other people like me to do it. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I was like, yeah, that seems like, and it was like hearing music about stuff that I had learned about as a child with, like a lot of the different people I was around as a child, like the kind of like early 90s, like Atlanta woke scene, I guess is what you would call it now.
Yeah.
It was, I guess, conscious.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it, But yeah, so basically stuff that I learned as a child about, revolutionary stuff and stuff about the Panthers and everything, and hearing like this music that I love about it. It's not this music I've never heard before. I've never heard this kind of music before. So yeah, 9 years old.
9 years old.
Yeah.
And that, when did you get your first guitar?
I was 15. I was 15 because I traded my uncle my saxophone for it because he wanted to learn how to play saxophone, and he worked downtown. Remember when we had like Tower Records downtown? Yeah. There was like the little beginner's kit. It was like $100. He's like, if you give me the saxophone, I'll buy you the kit. I was like, done. And I remember when he got off the bus, when he got off the bus with it. I like ran to the bus stop and like helped him carry it home and everything. Ripped it open. It was crazy. I actually still have that guitar over in my little area over here for my people that's gone. So I'll show you that later. You can get a picture of that and throw that up there if you want. Whatever.
So how was that like growing up? Like you said, when you got into rock and roll music, and then you being mixed, how was that like? Was it like you weren't supposed to listen to it, or?
I mean, yeah, everyone had that kind of, that's bullshit of the '90s in the South, because we didn't have the influence like New York and LA and shit like that, where you saw different cultures getting together and doing the things. Like in the South, it was still very black folk shit, white folk shit. Yeah. Things of that nature. And so, but unfortunately for me, I was born at a great time because, early 2000s, that's when everything started like mixing up and everything. We started seeing, Jay-Z and Linkin Park and new metal, which was pretty much just metal with rap. Let's just be real about it. Yeah. Like, no one will ever name Corey Taylor as a top 10 rapper, but that motherfucker can go off. Like, and I'm sure I'm gonna catch shit for saying that. I don't care. I'm a maggot too, so fuck it. Like, listen to that first Slipknot record. Tell me that motherfucker ain't flowing. But yeah, so I'm glad that it's kind of like that perfect time to not have to worry about that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it wasn't such a big deal unless you really made it a big deal. Yeah. Like if you really let it upset you to the point of not listening to it or just being upset about it, like I just went with what was cool for me, and whoever was cool with it, that's what I hung out with. I didn't really care what they looked like. Yeah. But looking back on it, I go, oh my God, like I didn't get to hang out with anybody that looked like me, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 people. Like out of a group of 10, 20 people, it's like still like 2, 3 of us. You know, and we're all different ages. Like one of us is grown, one of us is high school, one of us is in middle school. But you know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, so I grew up like in the early '80s and in the '90s, and it was kind of like when somebody said, "Oh, you listen to rap?"
Right.
I'm like, "Well, yeah." They're like, "But you listen to rock and roll too?" I'm like, "Yeah, I expand my mind."
Right. Like, why wouldn't you? Right.
I'm like, I just like to listen to what I listen to. I listen to everything. I mean, I got the Britney Spears vinyl at home.
That was actually, I'm gonna mess you up. I'm gonna mess the world up. Because anyone that knows me and knows this already. But my first official concert I ever went to was Britney Spears in Mud Island.
No shit.
Dead serious. Dead serious. Yeah. It was. I was living with my dad at the time, and my dad had like mad connections and shit. So we ended up going to that, and that's the first concert I ever remember going to. And I think the second one was the Backstreet Boys Millennium Tour at the Pyramid. So I've seen 2 amazing shows at the Pyramid. Backstreet Boys and Prince.
Hell yeah, that's Prince.
That was a great show.
That's a hell of a show to see. I didn't ever get to see him, but I could only imagine.
Crying. I'm telling you. I'm man enough to admit it, man. It was nuts.
I bet it was.
Oh my goodness. Great show. Great show.
Yeah. So you were in a band called Negro Terry, which, don't get upset, world. I said it. Tell us a little bit about what that's about.
Well, Negro Terry is the brain spawn of the big homie Omar, rest in peace. Yeah. You know, that was his, when he brought it to me, because, it was his idea for like 10 years, right? Like it was, he calls me up one day, he's like, man, I got this idea, I want to do this all black hardcore punk band. I said, all black hardcore, I'm like, done. Yeah. You know, because at the moment I had only had like some really janky equipment and like my little decent guitar back here, but I didn't really have any good equipment, and I didn't really have any good formal training because I had, been more ignorant in my days of initially learning how to play guitar, and I just kind of stuck to what I liked instead of what I needed to learn. Yeah. And so it kind of put me into a corner of only being able to play stuff like punk rock and grunge music and a little bit of goth here and there, but even some of that stuff was a little too technical for me because I didn't take the time to learn what I needed to learn. Yeah. And so that's a shout out to anybody learning guitar right now. Whatever you don't like, you got to learn how to play that too. Sorry. Like, just get over it. If you don't like jazz, get over it. If you know how to play jazz, you can play all the metal. So, and I know there's a person out there who's going to be really pissed when I said that. Whatever. But yeah, so he calls me up for that, and he's like, man, the thing was he wanted to make sure, just like I did, that kids, little black kids, knew they could do whatever. Like, we've already seen, finally saw a black president, and then we still have this BS of white folk music and this folks music, and especially in our area, it's very, Memphis is a very like mentally segregated town. It is. It's not something sad. Where it's like you gotta enforce it. Folks enforce it for you. Yeah. Like they do it themselves. Yeah. A lot of the times. We could always talk about redlining and how the politics of the city and blah 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 blah, gentrification, blah blah blah. We can talk about that all day, but at the end of the day, you put a party together with people from every culture, you're gonna see a distinct separation between black and white. Like you're gonna see a little bit of everybody with everybody, but you're gonna see like it's sad. It's really It's
really sad here because we have such a diverse culture here in Memphis. Yeah, and we, you would think with everything that goes on in Memphis, you would think it would all draw us together.
You would think.
We're all getting screwed. But it's like it's especially up further. The further up you go, and it's just like, it sucks to me because I was a military brat and I grew up in big cities
Right.
and all that, so I was always in diverse cultures.
Right.
And when I moved here, I think I was 13 before I even heard the N-word.
Wow, lucky you.
Yeah. Well, I heard it like in music.
Right.
And like
You never heard somebody call you that as something
yeah,
like that.
and like from friends saying it, but I just knew that was something I don't say.
You know, it's funny it's funny you would say that because like I didn't start saying nigga till I was about 13. And it was because I moved to Memphis. Like as a kid, I grew up like with that like. It just wasn't really said in my house, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I didn't really have a reason to say it. I never, you know, I remember one time my grandma called me a nigga, and I was like, oh my God, why did my grandma call me a nigga? Oh my God. Like, yeah, because it wasn't something I was used to.
Yeah.
And so, and by the way, before anybody asks, my mother was black, and so yeah, that's what I lived with most of my life. So that's the most of the culture that shapes me is my mother's culture.
Yeah.
But she was also the person that bought me my first like punk record, Offspring, Americana. No, Americana, and then Conspiracy of One after that. You know what I'm saying? Like this little old black lady, well not little old black lady, this little black lady, you know, buying her 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old kid these Offspring records. Like the Americana cover is weird enough for any black woman to be like, oh, no, my kid ain't listening to it. She bought it with no problem. But she also bought me an Outkast, Stankonia.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She bought me everything that she didn't ever tell me not to listen to something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She never told me not to do something because it was white. You dig what I'm saying? Everything was everything. Learn about everything, but make sure you know about your home base first.
Yeah.
I was always educated about my own people, black people, about our history, about our history in America, our history in Africa, our history, you know, almost across the world. She didn't really get a chance to get to all across the world because of, you know, her untimely death. But at the same time, I got a lot of it. And as I grew older, I realized I got a lot more of it than the average person.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wait, this wasn't, everybody's mom didn't do this? Oh, shit. Okay. But I never looked down on anybody for it. It was just like, okay, that gives me an opportunity to tell some people about some shit. Cool.
Yeah.
Like, hey, y'all want to know some shit? Like, we created air conditioning.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers was like, really? Like, yeah, we are the reason we won World War I and II. The gas mask. Boom. But
And I think that's important too for everybody just to learn about all cultures.
Absolutely. But if you look at every other culture has their people that they're super proud of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Asian cultures and they got to do. We have mostly because of how they teach it in schools. We have people that got killed as our people to look up to. But there's so many others that didn't.
Yeah.
That did amazing things that never get talked about because of the way the schools teach history and because of the way there's not a lot of oral tradition and passing down, stories about people. But the funny thing is we also live in the age of information. Yeah. So it's starting to get to the point where it's like, all right, there's no excuse. You people really should know about this. But also, if you don't have the inclination to go look it up, why would you know it?
Yeah.
If no one ever inspires you to go look it up, I can't expect someone to know anything about that kind of stuff just because they're black. You know what I'm saying? Because that would be me doing the same thing they did to me when they were telling me that I couldn't listen to rock music.
Yeah.
Or I couldn't like skateboarding. Or I couldn't, dress a certain way, talk a certain way, whatever. I'm just putting that right back on them. If I'm like, well, why don't you know your history?
Yeah.
Why don't you? No. Well, check this out. If you got some ears, let me teach you something. I know some stuff. Now you know some stuff. Now we both know some stuff. Cool, right?
That's how it should be.
That's how it should be. But everyone's so freaking judgmental, man.
And it's like, and to me, it's like, how does that make anybody inferior to anybody else?
Right.
By learning about what happened truthfully.
There's nothing wrong with being any age and not knowing some history because they taught us shit.
Yeah.
it's not anything to be ashamed of, and I always tell people that it's not anything to be ashamed of to not know something.
Well, Google's our friend.
Right, Google's right there, and you can't always trust Google. You
can't always trust.
You gotta do some due diligence, y'all. Like
Yeah.
you can't just
don't always trust Wikipedia.
Yeah, you might get some bullshit.
Wikipedia. A funny side story on that. Wikipedia actually had the Above the Rim movie.
Oh, word?
They had Rose McGowan as who played Flip.
Wow, that's funny as shit.
I remember that because that just popped up in my Facebook memories today. So somebody went in there, like, because everybody has access to it, you can edit it.
Yeah.
So somebody went and put Rose McGowan as playing Flip.
Rose McGowan, of all the motherfuckers in the world, in Above the Rim. That's
and we all know Bernie Mac played that part.
Exactly. Like,
so somebody was just like, wanting. So you definitely have to dig deep.
Yeah, you have to actually want to know and not just look at the first thing and go, oh, okay. And I even tell people that about myself. Yeah. Like, just because I told you something doesn't mean I'm right. Like, I could be missing some stuff. Yeah. Go look it up for yourself. Tell me something. I love learning. Yeah. I'm never going to be the kind of person that tells you something, tells you it's 100%, unless I know personally it's 100%. The only thing I know about that is either what I've learned in books, and even that's not 100%. I know what I've experienced. Yeah. That I know 100%. Yeah. But outside of that, everything else is like 98% down.
Yeah. So I mean, that's pretty much, we can never really be 100%.
Right.
Just because of time passing, and it's just one person's.
Well, I mean, you got like certain definitions. You got like 1 + 1 is 2.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got like certain definitions of certain words in English that are like going to be that all day, every day. Yeah. There's you have certain definitions, but you got a lot of opinion stuff as well. So, you know, that's what fucks us off is the opinion stuff.
Yeah. One person
believing that's 100%.
Yeah, one person says it this way, the other person says it that way. Third person comes, puts it in his own words, and makes that fact. Right. So then, like you said, it's 98%.
Right. You can't truly trust it all the way, but when people put it into that 100% category, that's where we get the problems. Yeah. That's where we get, the problems with our, world religions and things of that nature. That's honestly and this might be a little messed up to say, but that's literally the problem in the Middle East. People that just can't just get down with the fact that other people think differently. Yeah. But also, I can't talk shit as an American because that is the problem with America.
Yeah.
That is the problem with America. Like, it's ridiculous. No one wants to open up to another culture too much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because people have this idea that like multiculturalism, you got a lot of people that are completely against it, and then you got some people that are so far into it that they tend to blot out the actual culture that they're getting this multiculturalism from. You know what I mean? Like you got like a lot, like the soccer moms, namaste all the time, all that shit, And it's like, are you truly in this stuff right now, or do you go to church on Sunday with that, and then you do yoga on Wednesdays, and then you do Wicca on this day? Like, I've met so many people that they combined all their religions, and it's like, all right, so obviously we're getting to the point where we're starting to realize, like, it's time to just be good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just be good.
Yeah.
Like, and there's certain
and not worry about who's this religion or who's this race, or we're at a time now where it's just we're all stuck on this rock together.
Absolutely.
This is our country,
and everybody knows not to kill, not to steal, not to respect their mothers and fathers, and all that stuff. Like, there's certain stuff you don't have to tell people that.
Yeah.
And when they don't do it, you don't have to tell them that they were wrong. They know they're wrong.
Yeah.
Like, nobody sits there and steals something and goes, I did something completely right.
Yeah.
Nobody, even if you did it for a good reason, when you steal something, you're doing something wrong because you know it's going to affect somebody at some point.
It's going to affect somebody else.
Whether it be a company, whether it be, a mom and pop shop, whether it be a person you're stealing from, it's going to affect somebody.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing, but you have to go in the back of your head and go, is it worth it?
Yeah.
You know, is doing this. It's the same thing like my military buddies tell me about when you're in war. You know, killing people is wrong, but you have to go, do I want to live or not?
Yeah.
Do I want the people around me to live or not?
Yeah.
So, if yeah, I think we got too damn deep at this point. It's not even fun anymore. Now we gotta get fun again.
Okay.
We've gone way off the fucking crazy town, Rico.
Hey, that's how podcasts go. It just goes the way it flows, man.
Right.
You know, we've had a few talks before. We can get into some deep shit.
Oh yeah. Always.
So let's go back to the band.
Okay.
Where did the name come from?
Yet again, Omar. He had this idea. He had been seeing those old commercials from those old like newsreels from the 1920s and shit. And there was this one that was talking about rock and roll, and it was like just shitting all over it. It's like, oh, it's infecting all these kids. It's got the little of the Richard and I'm literally quoting him. This is how he told me. Little of the Richard, and it's got even our white kids like Elvis Presley, and he said he heard in the commercial the words Negro Terry, and he was like, that's it. And I know when he told me the name, I was like, yeah, let's go. That's right up my alley. Like, yeah, I like that. Like, I'm an in-your-face kind of guy. If we're gonna do something that meaningful for our community, it's gotta be. Can it get any more black than calling something Negro Terry? Like,
yeah, I think it's a great name.
Right, like when you hear the words Negro Terry, you're about to see nothing black people on stage.
Yeah,
that's the first thing you understand off the top is that you're about to see a group of young or where none of us are middle aged, young black men playing punk rock music because you've already heard the music. You want to come to the show, you know what you're going to see. You're not going to. And that's not shitting on anybody else, but when you hear that name, that's what I'm gonna see.
And I think it's great. I think like just when I found out about y'all like really late.
What do you consider really late? Like after the CKY show?
Yeah, like like a few years ago.
I mean, we haven't been a band that long, dude. We've been a band like 4.5 years, like something like 4.
So I guess about halfway in.
You found out when a lot of people found out. You probably found out around the time we started getting fucked with by those neo-Nazis.
Yeah.
As much as I hate to say this, we blew up off of that shit because, like, people at that time, it was a real heavy time, especially with the police brutality thing. Yeah. We were speaking out against that. We were playing shows. Our first show was the same. There was the weekend that the protest on the bridge happened here, because the protest on the bridge happened, I believe, that week. I believe it was a Wednesday or a Thursday. And then one of our homegirls, she put together a show at the High Tone, kind of on some revolutionary shit. Yeah. And she was like, she had been over our practices, and she was like, "We want you on it." And Omar was like, "I think we're ready for this," because we've been practicing for 9 months, a year, something like that. We have been really putting in work for a while before we actually hit the stage. You dig what I'm saying? So, so that happened, and then, it just kept on. But once the neo-Nazi thing happened, the way we played that was just letting the world see what was going on instead of like just reacting so eagerly and reacting like somebody would expect us to, like with anger, and be like, "Fuck you, da da da, come down here and see us punk, da da da." A lot of people wanted us to be like that, but
I think we took care of that for you.
You did. Yeah, no.
We took care of that
dead
for
serious.
you.
Every Negro Terry fan is the shit. Everyone that was on that page then, everyone's on that page now, are the shit, because I didn't have to say shit, because at the time I was pretty much the only one handling the social media, right? And so it's on me to make sure that I don't do anything stupid, because I got 2 other guys to worry about.
Yeah.
At the time, we had 2 other guys to worry about. It was just me, Raheem, and Omar. And so, I got to think about these other guys. Omar, who is already, deep into that scene to the point where he's on lists.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's got people that want to do harm to him for real. So I gotta consider that. I gotta consider Raheem, his family, you know, on top of my own safety.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, what's the funnest thing I can do? Okay, I'll let the fans mess with it. And y'all showed the fuck out.
Yeah, we did.
Y'all, especially when they kicked us off Facebook. Oh,
yeah,
man.
That was...
Y'all showed out. Y'all showed out.
We weren't fixing to have that. I
appreciate
was
it, y'all. Y'all are the shit. I swear to God, y'all are.
I was like, this is some bullshit.
Yeah,
because I don't think I even had met y'all at that time or not.
I don't.
I think I first met y'all when Jeremiah died.
Possibly.
I think that was the first time.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I was scared to talk to you. I was like, man, I don't like these guys. It's like, you know how it is, like going talking to a
Oh wait, you were at the wake, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. That's the last time I had a beer.
Is it?
Yeah, because the only reason I only drank because and I don't even think I finished mine. I don't drink, y'all.
Yeah, I remember y'all were doing that memorial show.
Yeah.
And I asked y'all, you know, hey, that's my boy since I was like 13.
Yeah,
And we do the show, and y'all were like, fuck yeah. Omar was like, yeah. He's like,
yeah,
y'all been boys that long? He's like, you're our family now too. I was
like,
that's what's up.
I remember that a lot. That was dope.
And I remember the show. The show was great for everybody else, but our set, because we couldn't get everything figured out, and we couldn't get our sound figured out. Our show was a disaster.
Yeah, but I mean, you pulled it off though. I mean, you continued to do the show, and that's all.
Yeah, and I was
you didn't let it just like fuck you up to the point where you're like, you know what, I'm never gonna finish the show.
Yeah.
You were like, I'm gonna do the songs that I came to do.
Yeah.
And you know, if it fucks up, it fucks up, and it did. But I mean, you know, you did your thing though, and that's all that matters, man. That's all that matters.
Because I was like, man, I said, hopefully this goes good. I said, I might ask them, can I do some more shows with them? But I was like, there's no fucking way they're gonna let us do shit right after this debacle. But that's how.
Something to put you on, man. We would have found something. We would have gave you a second chance, man.
Yeah, but I think that's when I first met y'all, and I was like, y'all are just cool as hell. Just, you know, taking me in, like, you're like, yo, we known each other forever and shit.
I mean, that's just how we get down. I mean, you know, Omar was a loving dude, and that's what that's just how he maneuvered. That's how he rolled around. It wasn't ever a, you know, I mean, he was always cautious, but at the same time, like, once you passed that initial little, you know, look over, you were good. You were good. And I mean, it was the same thing with me, and the same thing with everybody else that, you know, has ever gotten involved with us on a deeper level. You know, it was always, you know, if you ever thought you just came in straight out the door, like, very few. All of us are watching, because you have to, especially with, you know, the kind of stuff we're doing.
Yeah.
You gotta be on your toes, because you never know who's coming around to be on some dumb shit.
Yeah.
And you gotta like distance yourself from it, because, you know, the enemy is always waiting on you to pull the dumb shit. You know, they want to pull up the shit you did in your past, and, you know, because unfortunately, the cool shit that we liked about cancel culture is now being used against us, and that's the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, at first it was like, okay, we're finding out about rapists and pedophiles and motherfuckers and these horrible ass people, and now motherfuckers is just like digging up your criminal history and shit.
Yeah.
And, you know, digging up, you know, what you did.
They don't like it seeing somebody else go, and plus, like y'all, I mean, kind of like a political type band, activists, and that's what people, they really hate activists.
Yeah,
which everybody should be an activist. It doesn't make no damn sense.
I mean, stand up for what you believe in, and you're gonna fall for anything, man. That's the end of the day. You know, you see it a lot in workplaces. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people are way too afraid of losing their money and losing their life to stand up for anything nowadays.
Yeah.
And it's the saddest shit in the world, because the shit they should be standing up against directly affects their money and their lives.
Yeah.
Like, you would think, but they don't think long term, they think short term, but they claim to be so, you know-it-all-isk about stuff, and it's sad, really. Yeah. It's really sad. You watch strong people break themselves down into nothing just for some bucks, like $12 an hour, $15 an hour. You know what I mean? Benefits. You know what I'm saying? and they feel like they have to, or else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. They be like, oh, like the stuff that you are supposed to do when you got problems at work, you can't even do because you're afraid of losing your job.
Yeah.
And that goes, that goes up even higher to the bullshit with, Tennessee being an at-will state.
Oh,
Motherfuckers
yeah.
can just fire you for whatever now. You don't even have to give them a good reason. And as an employee, you can't sue. So, it's a gang of bullshit. It's a gang of bullshit.
Yeah. So, as far as the band goes, like, so y'all were doing a lot of community work too.
Yeah, I mean, I can't sit here and say I was doing a whole bunch at the time. I was, more focused on really working and stuff I had going on. But we did a lot of, charity shows and, so that was Omar's big thing, was charity shows and just making sure that people understood that it was love at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And he did a lot of stuff like what he did the hooligans for the homeless thing.
Yeah.
And
St. Jude.
Yeah, the St. Jude thing and no wait, what was it? That was St. Jude and Musicians for Lebanon. That's what it was.
Musicians for Lebanon.
That's what it was. But I'm pretty sure they went to St. Jude once. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. But we were getting into it at that time. Yeah, that's all I can really say. I mean, I remember doing a lot of charity shows and doing a lot of shows, for free and doing stuff. I mean, like you have to do that shit anyway. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But I remember like we did the joint downtown in front of City Hall because those folks they were kicking out of the Madison.
Yeah.
I forgot their names. I just remember the cause. Like I said, that was, and it makes me sound like a complete dick, but that was definitely like Omar's main shtick. Like that was he made sure like the community stuff was held down. And my work in the community is more or less on the street level, just, talking to folks and when I can, maybe, just basically doing what I can. Yeah. I don't really. I'm not attached to any group or any charity organization or anything like that. No one can say they can look me up like doing anything for like British or anything like that. But when I can, when I see it, I do my best. And if I can't do anything, I can't do anything. But yeah, mine is more or less on the street level.
So the band is basically, was it made to like, well, I mean, just because, making a band's fun in the first damn place.
Absolutely.
But did y'all have like kind of like the idea that you're gonna like show that there's no color barrier?
Absolutely.
And that the black kids, they could be punk rockers.
Absolutely. The big thing, I mean, oh my God, what was it? When we were talking, because when we first talked about this band, we had I think we talked for like 3 hours because we were so excited about it. But the main thing, because with what they call the alt-black culture now, black kids know what they can do now. They know it's whatever now. It ain't like when I was in elementary school and middle school and being the black kid that liked anime and punk rock was fucking weird. And you had to find motherfuckers that was cool, that was also maybe looked like you in your neighborhood. And they may not even live in your neighborhood. They may live fucking, a couple neighborhoods over. You gotta get your mom to drop you off and shit. Or you end up hanging out with kids that don't look shit like you. White kids or Asian kids, Mexican kids, whatever. And so our big thing was letting white folks know you can't hide.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? There's nothing on earth that white people do that black people will not do as well. I'm not saying better, because people get that confused a lot. People get it confused. You always black people gonna do, isn't that like black supremacy or something? Whoa, slow down. Nobody ever said that everything y'all do, we do better. Nobody's saying that dumb shit. What I'm saying is, we're doing it as well.
Yeah.
Everything. Polka, we in that. Guarantee somewhere there's a nigga with an accordion. I guarantee you.
Oh, I'm sure.
I guarantee you. I want to find it. So I guarantee somewhere It's an all-black mariachi band.
I mean,
somewhere.
Jamaica had a bobsled team. They got it.
Boom! There you go. Jamaica had a bobsled team, baby. So
anything is possible.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, Lil Nas X is my favorite. He's my favorite example of Negro Terry in the mainstream.
Yeah.
He's my and people hate when I say that, but he's my favorite example of Negro Terry in the mainstream because this motherfucker came out of nowhere, right? Out of Atlanta, Georgia. Gay. Came out of nowhere. Hit the top of the country charts. Got kicked off the country charts because they said he wasn't really country. He came back with one of they boys, Billy Ray Cyrus. Oh, and it gets better. Who wrote Billy Ray Cyrus's verse? A black woman from Memphis. What?
Nice.
What?
I didn't know that part.
What? Oh yeah. Oh my God. Shout out. Oh my God. What's her name? I can't think of it right now. Oh my God. Look it up. Look it up. I'm not lying. It's the homie. Y'all, I smoke a lot, y'all. So my memory gone right now. Oh my God. I'm gonna think of her name brought in the middle of random conversation. I'm just blurt it out. But yeah. Yeah, a black woman from Memphis wrote the verse for that. She's a songwriter. She's off the chain. She just released a song, I believe, with Wayne and somebody else. But yeah, so yeah, and then on top of that, came back with one of their boys and hit the top of the pop charts, which we all know at the end of the day is probably bringing in more money.
Yeah,
than
the culture.
Exactly. So if that ain't Negro Terry, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Like, that's Negro Terry as fuck, because when you think about country music, come on now. Who's the black guy we always won't talk about? Charlie Pride. Okay. Charlie Pride. The one. No, we got a little young nigga came out of nowhere talking about Old Town Road, riding horses and shit. What?
Speak about Negro Terry as fuck. How about y'all's cover song of Screwdriver?
Oh, yeah, the Voice of Memphis? Yet again, another great, wonderful idea from the homie Omar, man. Omar, see the thing y'all have to understand about everything Negro Terry up until anything you might see after this, and this is just being 100,000%. It was mostly, pretty much all Omar. Like, I'm talking about song selection, cover selection, teaching us, about the hardcore scene and everything. Like I would never say I was ever a hardcore kid, or that I am now. But I was into all types of different shit, so it wasn't anything that I didn't feel I couldn't play.
Yeah.
So when he asked me to be in the band, I was like, cool. I played enough punk rock to be able to, to hang. And I found out, with the quickness, there was some stuff I didn't know. And some stuff I didn't know how to do, and some stuff I had to learn how to do, as far as speed, as far as, really mainly speed. Yeah. But yeah, there was a lot of different stuff that, me and Righty had to learn about our own, instruments and how to play and all that good stuff that he taught us because of his extensive, damn near encyclopedic knowledge of hardcore punk and reggae and ska and everything else. Like, This guy was like, all right, listen this out, listen this out, listen to this band, listen to this band. It got to the point where at one point I'm just like, dude, I can't do no more. Like, it's starting to blend together now, dude. I'm sorry. I'm starting to hear the same frequency voices and shit. Like, I'm starting to hear the same notes too much. Oh my God, what's going on? But at the same time, I started to see the beauty in that simplicity. Yeah. And that's what, really gave me the respect to be able to play on the level that I've been able to play now. You know what I mean? It was being able to sit down and not be, the technical dumbass that a lot of guitarists like to be. And this chick's too easy, it's so easy. It's like, all right, have fun playing it. Yeah. Try, you have fun playing that shit. Like, I'll give it up to everybody, as far as the technical metal motherfuckers, the jazz motherfuckers. They got the gigantic spider hands. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, I give it up to everybody. But and the ones that I've met that have been really about it have given it up to me as well. One of my biggest, he's just a dope guitarist, man. He's from Memphis. He plays for the Barcades, man. He came and saw one of the shows, and he gave me the thumbs up. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
So if the guy from the barcades can give me a thumbs up. Huh? This for all the black people that say they can't come out to the shows. You scared? There's nothing to be scared of. There's nothing to be scared of.
Yeah. Why do you think that would be like some people might be scared of?
Well, a lot of people don't really understand the culture, and I understand, why they wouldn't myself, because I was brand new into that skinhead shit.
Yeah.
I remember when he would say that shit on stage, I'd be like, yo, what the fuck are you saying, dude? What the fuck? But then when he taught me about it, I was like, whoa, this wasn't even no racist shit off the top. But
Sharps.
You can't sit there, shout out to the Sharps, shout out to Joe Grizz, Tom, all y'all, Frank, what's cracking? All y'all. I forgot the rest of y'all's names. But Sarah, what's cracking? Oh my God, I just be forgetting shit. It's that goddamn marijuana. Anyway, but what were we just talking about? That quick? Oh, the skinhead thing.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
When he taught me about that, but your average person, from a black community, their main interactions with skinheads have been racist motherfuckers or watching a movie like American History X or something like that. So it's not just a commonly known thing out there, which is something I've discussed with the Sharp guys as well. Like getting the idea out there more that this is an organization that was around before these guys popped up.
Yeah.
Like before these guys were these racist skinheads, we were skinheads way before that, and it wasn't a racist thing. It was a working class thing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. This way people can maybe kind of attempt to disassociate the boots and braces from racism. That's
I think it needs to be spread more because it also puts these guys in a lot of danger that people think they're regular skinheads.
Absolutely. But the thing is, they have to do it themselves.
Yeah.
Like I've talked with a couple of guys. I talked to the president of the chapter here, and we had a good conversation. And it was, I told him I was like, yo, you gotta use the enemy's tactics against them, because that's what they did to skinhead culture. They went on Phil Donahue. They went on Jerry Springer. They got on the news. They got in the media, and then the media incorrectly associated skinhead shit with racist shit. Yeah. And so now that's what's up. That's what's known. That's what's the household name of skinhead, is a racist motherfucker that's probably violent. He's got a Nazi tattoo somewhere. He Sieg Heils. He's bullshits German. You know what I'm saying? Like, but most skinheads, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've met skinheads of all races. I've met of all colors. I've met, ladies, men, gay men, trans, it's whoever.
Yeah.
It's not no one definition, but the one thing that is definitely not is racist.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That shit is frowned upon. That sexist shit, frowned upon. That homophobic shit, frowned upon. I love it. Yeah. I'm trying to take some of those aspects and put it in my own neighborhoods and shit, because, we have a gigantic problem with homophobia in the black community. And it's something that really has to get addressed, because, and I'll say it here, and I know I'm gonna piss somebody off when I say this shit, but some black people treat gay people like white folks treat us. The bad ones, the bad ones, not all of them. But you can't say white folks without somebody going, not all of them. Like, no, you gotta make sure you say not all white folks, but y'all know the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And some people refuse to see it.
Yeah.
They just won't. Like, you can sit there and show them what they're doing, and they just won't see it, won't believe it. They go off that book, man, that Bible. You know what I'm saying? No, not talk shit about Christians or talk shit about the Bible or anything like that. But they take the worst parts of it.
Yeah.
And enforce that.
Yeah. And
it's like, no, man, no, that's not. They refuse to learn.
The Old Testament at that anyway, which they're not even supposed to go by anymore.
Exactly, and this is me looking inwards on my community. This isn't me trying. I believe in holding your community accountable before anybody else does. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have confused it with, oh, he just be hanging out with gay folks and white folks too much. No, I hold my community accountable before anybody else even gets a chance to. Before anyone outside of those offended get a chance to hold it down, I'm holding it down.
Yeah.
Because that's what's right at the end of the day. That's what brings people together. That's what makes communities safer. That's what makes, people, that's what saves us from having to bury so many goddamn people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing. We would have.
You got lust anyway.
It is. I would much rather be burying people off of these diseases than off of all this violence, and dumb violence at that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, you, this person's gay and you don't like that.
Like, why would you kill somebody?
Right.
Why would you physically harm somebody for that?
Or even worse, the dudes that swear to God they didn't know it was a trans woman will find out it's a trans woman, get mad and want to hurt it.
You already did. You already did.
You already knew, and even if you didn't know, bruh, what you gonna do about it now? Is hurting this person really? What's it gonna do for you?
Yeah.
What is it gonna do? For you?
That's just
what is killing this person?
Like,
you know what you just did? Really? What you should have did instead of just hurting that person? You should have learned, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Now you know. Check. Or ask.
Yeah.
I mean, these are not easy questions to ask, but I mean, if you're going to be messing with somebody,
in this day and age,
in any day and age, you should be asking.
Yeah,
because you shouldn't just be throwing your dick in everything, man. That's the big problem. Brothers out here of all races, white, black, brown, green, yellow, purple, I don't give a fuck. Stop throwing your dick in everything. Check. See what's up. Get to know the motherfucker. How about that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get called all types of sensitive for this shit. All types of pussy. No. Oh, Rico trying to play it up for the ladies. No, man, that's just how I keep my dick clean. No crabs over here, baby. And no babies out of fucking nowhere.
Too much shit out there these days.
Telling you. I don't have time for baby mama drama, man. I'm trying to make it to the top. Fuck that.
Yeah, it can get you caught up.
Quick.
Luckily, me and my baby mama, we straight.
That's always beautiful. And the people that got a co-parent, I love the people that got a co-parent and do it right.
Yeah.
I love seeing that shit.
Took a while, but we put our shit aside and said, we got to raise this baby girl.
Hey, got to do it, man. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I love seeing it.
Yeah. So, shit, I don't know.
Oh yeah, definitely got to put it out there. I'm gonna be at Growlers February 5th with the Riffraff show.
Oh, you gonna be there?
I'm performing.
You're performing?
Yeah, I'm on the flyer, man.
Oh shit, I didn't know that. I'm definitely gonna have to go down.
Yeah, shout out to the homie Riff. What's
Riffraff is, man.
Topanga Jack was good. High Chaos was good.
When I first saw Riffraff, I thought it was like a joke, an MTV joke.
I did too.
I thought it was a joke, and then I was like, okay, this is for real. I said, this shit's straight. I said, people sleep on him.
I mean, homie
he's got flow.
He's got flow. He's got a funky little character. I like it.
Yeah,
I
he
like
came out with that character. His favorite thing he ever said is like, I wanted to be like my life motto. I was like, I quit school in recess because too many games.
Too many games. Too many games.
And then he said, I didn't go to high school. I bought one. I was like, this is my hero right here.
I like it when he was in the car with the shark tooth rings. My main goal is to blow up and then act like I don't know nobody. I was like, yes. Even though that's not my main goal. I'm acting like I know people, I promise. Some of y'all motherfuckers.
So that's February 5th. Yeah, Growlers.
February 5th, the Growlers. That's gonna be off the chain. Because yes, I do hip hop as well. That's right.
Rico the acronym?
Yes, indeed.
Rico the acronym. The acronym.
Yeah. From the South, we don't pronounce that shit. THA. THA.
I spent 4 years in Ohio, so.
Yeah, you ain't got no choice.
I'm still trying to get back to my southern roots.
Right.
So I guess one last question.
What's up, man?
What is next for Negro Terry?
Ah, man, ain't no telling.
If y'all even know.
I mean, it's definitely the album coming out. It's coming out. We've got stuff we got to handle for that, but it is coming. And really, it's just a matter of waiting and seeing, man. There is things coming. I can tell you that. I can't tell you what.
Yeah.
But I can tell you there are things coming. And
I think that's all we want to hear.
Yeah.
There's things coming.
There are things coming. It's not over. It's not
over. I think that's the main thing.
At the same time, like everybody, I think anybody will understand this is a giant. This was a blow. You know, losing.
Yeah, it's not something you can
because you got
bounce back from.
David, you know, our other guitarist, that's his brother.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And Omar, to a degree, was like a sensei to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I got a lot of guidance from that guy that I don't get from a lot of friends. You know what I mean? We helped each other out in a lot of different times and a lot of different stuff. And I think with the band, we kind of equaled each other out. You know what I mean? Like I'm wild. You know what I'm saying? I'm the motherfucker who wants to jump around and da da da. But at the same time, it's all to get you to pay attention because you got to pay attention to these lyrics because you can't ignore Omar. He's right there. He's in your face. He's screaming at you. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't ignore that. So I'm just making sure I add to the flavor so that you getting the whole show now.
Yeah.
So you're not just getting, you're getting everything. You're getting everything. And so with that being gone now, and all of us having to, man, it's just, it's a motherfucker.
But Omar, he always had wise words for me.
Absolutely.
I remember I liked it especially because he embraced my Asian side.
Right.
He would be like, "Don't worry, got to my Asian brother."
Yeah.
So I was like, finally somebody realized I got some Asian.
Right.
So he embraced that.
That's the kind of person he was, man, because he was so worldly. You know what I mean? He knew so much about a lot of shit that people just didn't know. Like that man was a fountain of knowledge, straight up and down. Like that man knew stuff. That man he just knew stuff.
I missed y'all's last few shows y'all had when he was still alive.
Yeah.
Because I had my daughter, and I remember when y'all did that show at Canvas, and I was talking to him after the show, and I told him I probably missed the shows because I had my kid. He said, "Don't ever come to a show if you have your daughter." He's like, "Family first."
Family first.
So I took that to heart.
Yeah.
And I remember one of the last things he told me besides that too, he's like, "I want you back on that microphone." Because I told him, we're going to try to start, now that I moved back, we're going to try to start making some music. He's like, he's like, "No, you're not going to try, you're going to do it." He's like, "I want you back on the microphone."
That's the kind of dude he was.
So
he was always keeping people like, if you thought you wanted to do something you was good at, he would tell you to do it.
Yeah.
Like, he was the first person to call me to rap, with a live band. He called me up out of nowhere, and this was like, before we was just really good homies like that. He called me up, he's like, "Hey man, I heard you can flow." I'm like, "Yeah, I can get down a little bit." He's like, "Well, we got this weed song for this 420 show. Can you write something for it?" And they went to their practice, and he played they all played the song for me, and I did my thing, and that was like the first time I performed as a hip hop artist.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of blossomed from there, and then me getting down with them on that track kind of, not gonna say opened the door, but it got a lot of other people thinking like, "Oh man, maybe I should do that too."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now you got, there's a lot of hip hop artists in Memphis that owe the Chinese Connection Dub Embassy a gigantic amount of gratitude for making them look good.
Which was Omar's other band.
Right, the reggae band, Chinese Connection. There's a lot of those. I mean, I've seen them get on stage with garbage rappers and make them look good. And I mean make them look good. I mean, I'm like, huh? You know what I mean? Like, so that doesn't surprise me at all that he was trying to get you back on the mic, man.
Yeah, he's like, "You get back on that mic." Yeah. He's like, "You get up there," and I'm like,
because he was one of those people that believed in doing music as a hobby.
Yeah.
And not as a hobby, as a way of demeaning it, but like as a way of like therapy.
Yeah. like
our practices were therapy. You know what I'm saying? Our shows were therapy. We didn't. That's why you never really saw us give a shit whether we had 100 people or 15. You know, you was gonna get the same show.
Yeah.
Because it was therapy for us, man. It still is. Like, and that's how it's gonna have to continue, and like I said, these are things that they take a lot more time than people would like. You know what I mean? But I'm sure everybody's ready to hear the album. Everybody's ready to see us back on stage, and they're ready to see who's going to front it now.
You're right. I think you are, but they definitely have to realize that's not just something.
Yeah.
That you can just be like, oh well, here's this guy over here. We'll just bring him in, and we'll just keep doing what we're doing. Like
right.
This is like, you can't. You got to figure out. First, you just got to grieve.
And that's the first and foremost.
And it's not even been a whole year.
No.
So it's like it's hard to get over a loss, especially something like that. I can imagine, because I wasn't as close to them as y'all are by any means.
Yeah. But
that still hurt my soul just for the few years that I know them.
Right. I mean, it was so many people that
I mean, his funeral
for this long, but man, I see these folks pop up out of nowhere. Like they showed a lot of love. Memphis showed a lot of love at that funeral.
Yeah.
And afterwards and everything, helping out the family and everything. Like I was very impressed. But while saying that, I also have to make sure I say this because nobody else will. I'm saddened that it took that man to die for people to start really treating Omar with the respect he deserves. And I mean that in a lot of different ways. And I don't mean anybody in specific, so if you think I'm talking about you, I probably am. But if you don't think I'm talking about you, then I'm not. So, but there was a lot of people took advantage of that man, and took advantage of his kindness, and took advantage of his love for the community, his love for music, and his love for his fellow man.
They wanted always to get something out of it.
Exactly.
And
a lot of them were at that funeral.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I couldn't believe that. And it's sad because, like you said, you have to watch out when you're in a band with so many people coming, because so many people want to put their hands in the pot.
Absolutely.
And they'll be like, oh, well, I know him, but why are you
and this really doesn't even have all the way to do with Negro Terry. This is just, I've known Omar since I was in college. We were playing at this place called the oh my God, what's it called? The Rally Point.
Oh yeah, Rally Point.
We used to play at the Rally Point and shit. Yeah, back in the day, baby. Back in the day. And so I've known Omar for a long time, but I've been doing business with Omar, or watching them do business, or been involved with any of their shows for about a decade now. And I've seen everything from them getting exactly what they deserve monetarily, sometimes not. You know what I'm saying? And I always believed that he was a real cool dude for just letting that shit slide.
Yeah.
But when I saw everybody pop up at the funeral, and everybody pop up here and there, and everybody knows me. I'm not gonna hold my tongue with it. Like a lot of people I was looking at like, what the fuck are you here?
It's hard not to call them out.
Yeah, but I mean that's not my job though.
Yeah.
And I won't do it. I'll never say anybody's name to that. Those people know who they are, and they'll feel that way. And if they want to reveal themselves, they'll do it. But
see, that's like me. Like I just, Omar, all you guys. Like I just first met y'all. Like I just felt like this connection. Shit, it was cool. We did the show together and all that. And I was like, I just admire these guys like so much. Just what they do, what they stand for.
Man, we just some regular dudes, man, just standing up for themselves. That's all it is. And everybody can do it. You can do it too. You too can be like Negro Terry. Just fucking stand up for yourself, man. Stand up for what you believe in.
That's the thing. A lot of people don't. Y'all guys do. Y'all give us the hope, the strength.
Right.
We could be like, we see some shit popping off, we'll be like, hey, hold on.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah. Like when we went on that little documentary tour, me and Ray did, you know, I had a couple of white people ask me, like, what can we do to help? What can we do to help? What can we do to help? Pass it on, bro.
Yeah.
Pass on that non-racist shit, the shit that's cool. Pass that shit on to your kids, your nieces and nephews, your homies, everybody. And that's the only thing you can do.
Yeah.
Because the big shit you can do, y'all don't have the power to do.
I try to steal that in my daughter every time. I be like, I said, ain't nobody better than nobody.
Nobody
said
said
we're all humans.
rich, poor, black,
I said, you better never look down on someone because of the color of their skin. I try to get her to listen to Bob Marley all the time, and she, damn, why you listen to this so much? She's only 13, maybe now.
Man, let that girl listen to Cardi B. You know she want to listen to Cardi B.
She likes XXXTentacion.
Oh Lord, you watch out. She's dark, isn't she?
She got the hoodie and everything. She's a juggalette too.
Word!
She been listening to ICP,
oh.
which I raised her on the ICP, but
I mean that's you, dude.
I thought she had stopped listening to it. Then we were in the car one day. She plugged her phone up, put on Hocus Pocus. I was like,
oh my goodness.
Okay,
that's off the chain. That's shout out to ICP, man. Those guys have been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, 30 years. Yeah, 31 actually. Yeah.
Shit, ICP's as old as I am.
Yeah. Well, any last words, man?
Shoot, like I said, Growlers, February 5th, come on now. Also, definitely, y'all gotta come out to the Forever Loving Marley Fest. Chinese Connections putting on. I forgot the date though.
February 28th.
I believe so. Look it up online. Forever Loving Marley and Rail Garden. Look it up. I forgot the date because I'm forgetting everything today apparently. But
and Kaimani Mark. Kaimani's
coming.
Yeah, to the Minglewood Hall.
Okay.
I don't remember the date. I don't remember the date, but Kaimani's.
Look up Chinese Connection Dub Embassy.
Yeah, look them up.
And go to all of their shows. Go to all of their shows. If you loved Omar as much as you said you did, go to all those shows.
It's a show you'll definitely want to see over and over and over.
I mean, it's the premier reggae man of the Mid-South. You can't name somebody else doing it like that. I mean, I'll wait.
Oh, and check out the documentary too. Yeah.
Yes, most definitely. Amazon Prime. Just look up Negro Terry. It's right there. I believe you can also buy our single vinyl on there, Voice of Memphis. You can buy a little vinyl 45 on there.
I'll have to get that down now that I got a record player.
Oh yeah, most of that shit. I got some in the back. I got you. Just tell me where to go.
And also with the documentary, y'all just had it played in China.
Yes. The director just went over to I think he was in Beijing, and played it. They had to censor a lot of stuff. Well, not a lot of stuff. They censored some stuff, but yeah. So that was pretty cool seeing Negro Terry in Chinese. That's kind of.
Yeah,
I'd like
and y'all single Voice of Memphis got over 2 million plays.
Like 1.9 million, shit like that.
And y'all are still. I'm on different punk Facebook groups, and somebody's posting it on there. And I was like, this is crazy. I was like, people are not, y'all are still making.
And
around the world.
Thank every single one of y'all. Thank y'all so much because y'all are the ones that make it easier to get this stuff back cracking and y'all help us. All those comments, all the positive comments, even the negative ones. Y'all help us. Y'all give us that gasoline, and get us back rolling, man. Because it's coming. Don't think we're going nowhere. They can't get rid of something that's important that easy.
Yeah.
Not that easy. Omar made sure of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I told him we were gonna be the Black Misfits. That's just what it's gonna be.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Man, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. We have to do it again sometime.
Yeah. We can talk about it. We can get into the skateboarding shit next time. I ain't skateboarded in a long time.
Oh yeah. I'm off my game today.
It is what it is, man. It's a rainy day, man.
It's a rainy day.
It's a rainy day.
We just.
And you know what's up? You can always get back. We can always get chopping up.
We'll get together again, chop it up.
Mi casa es su casa.
But thanks for coming on the show, and click, share, like, subscribe, all that. Check out Negro Terry, Chinese Connection WBC. And
and we go to acronym.
Acronym.
Acronym with just a K.
We'll see you next time.
Peace.